guys, are you ready for class today?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, class, today we are going to be reviewing Algebra 1.
Okay, we're ready.
Okay, the first thing we are going to be learning about is adding fractions together. So for the first example, a fraction is the numerator over the denominator. So to add two fractions together, for example, you would take 5/12 plus 4/5 and figure out how to do that. Do any of you know how to do that? Okay, so to figure out what 5/12 plus 4/5 is, you have to find a common denominator for these that you can multiply both of the numerators to equal. So for example, you could use 12 times 5 is equal to 60. So you would do 60 on both of the bottoms as the denominator. So 60, so blank over 60 plus blank over 60 equals. Then what you would do next is you would multiply 5 times 5 because 12 times 5 equals 60. So whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So 5 times 5 equals 25. So it's going to be 25 over 60 plus 4 times 12, which equals 48. So you're going to do 48. So does anybody know what 25 plus 48 is? No? Okay. So 25 plus 48 is equal to 73 over, and then the denominator, you just keep the same. So 73 over 60. Now, Annie, do you know what the problem with this fraction is?
It's bigger than the denominator.
Good job. Okay, so the way to reduce it, you would see if there was a way to reduce it. Does anyone know if there's a way to reduce this?
You can subtract the numerator from the denominator.
Yes, that would be to create a mixed fraction, but I don't think we should create a mixed fraction. So in this case, 73 over 60 would be the correct answer. So next we are going to be learning how to divide fractions. So, for example, this problem that we could learn how to divide is 25 over 32 divided by 4 3/8. Now, for this problem, we should make the mixed fraction into not a mixed fraction. So you would do 25 over 32 divided by 4 times 8, which is 32, or 32, so you do 4 times 8 is 32, plus 3 is 35, so it would be 35 over 8 equals. So now, the next thing that you would do is so to divide, what you want to do is you want to multiply by the reciprocal. So you would do 25 over 32 times 8 over 35. The reciprocal is just the opposite of the original. So now to multiply, how do you do that? To multiply, you just go completely across. So it would just be 25 times 8, which does anyone know what that is? It's 200. So 25 times 8 is 200 over 32 times 35. Does anybody know what that is? You guys aren't even paying attention. So back to this, please. So 35 times 32 equals 10, 6, 7, 15, 9, 10. So that would be 0, 2, 1. That would be 1,120. So 200 over 1,120. Okay, so 200 over 1,120, that's a big number. So to reduce that, 200 over 1,120 is equal to 5/28. So that is your final answer. 5/28 is your final answer of 25/32 divided by 4 3/8. Okay, so we're going to learn how to solve systems by substitution. To solve a system, you have to figure out what y and x would equal. So class, to do this, to use substitution, for example, you would have 2x minus 3y equals -1. And then you would have a different equation, which is y equals x minus 1. So to figure this out, you would just substitute y for x minus 1, because y equals x minus 1. So 2x minus 3, parentheses, x minus 1 equals -1. So the next thing you would do is you would distribute the -3 to the x and the -1. So it would be 2x minus 3x plus 3 equals -1. Next, the next thing you would do is you would combine like terms. So 2x minus 3x equals -x plus 3 equals -1. So then the next thing you would do is you would subtract 3 from both sides. So -x equals -2. X equals negative. So if you're going to do -1 minus -3, it'd be plus. So it'd be equals -4. So then you would, so this is -x equals -4, and you would multiply by -1 on both sides so that each of these would be positive, because you don't want x to be negative. So -x equals -4. You would multiply by -1 to get x equals 4. Okay, so now we know that x equals 4. So we're halfway done. X equals 4. So then the next thing that you would have to do is you'd have to figure out what y equals. Now this is a lot simpler because we already know what x equals. So you would just do y. You just plug in x is 4. So y equals 4 minus 1. And so that obviously means that you would do y equals 3. So now y equals 3. So we have solved our system. So 4/3 is our system. Okay, next class we are going to learn how to solve systems by elimination. This is the same thing. You have to figure out what x and y equals, but to do this you need to get rid of one variable. So for this, both of the variables in these two equations is y is equal to 1, or -y is equal to 1. There's no extras. So the way that you would do this is you would add these together. So -y plus y, that would cancel each other out because that would be equal to 0. So x plus 2x equals 3x equals, you do 1 plus 9 equals 0, 1 equals 30. So 3x equals 30. Then you would divide 3 by both sides to get x by itself. So then x would equal 10. So now we already have that x is equal to 10. So then it's much simpler now to find y. To find y, you would do the equation 10 minus y equals 11. So now you would minus 10 from both sides, subtract 10 from both sides, so you'd get -y equals 11 minus 10 would be 1. So -y equals 1, but you want to get y to not be negative, so you would subtract both by multiply both by -1 to where y would equal -1. And then so there is the second way to solve the system of equation. So 10 and -1, 10 and -1, and that would be your final answer. Okay, next we're going to be learning about factoring. So for factoring, this equation is going to be b squared plus 8b plus 7. So we need to know how to factor that. Yes, do you have a question?
May I go to the restroom, please?
Fine, go. Come back quickly. Anyways, so we are going to learn how to factor. So we are going to factor b squared plus 8b plus 7. So to do this, I was taught a great method to do this, is you do this, And so b squared plus 8b plus 7. So the first thing you're going to do is figure out two ways to get to b squared by multiplying. So b times b would equal b squared. So you put those right here. Next, you're going to figure out a way to have two things that when multiplied together equals 7, but when you add them together, it equals 8. It equals the middle there. It equals the middle number. So, so you make a little chart. So 7. So what are it's 7 times 1, and that's really the only answer. So 7 by 1, so it would be 7 times 1, and then whenever you're the form of this, it would be b plus 1, and then b plus 7. And that is your final answer. Welcome back to class. Okay, so the next thing we are going to learn is slope-intercept form of a line. So slope-intercept form. Now, what is slope-intercept form? Slope-intercept form is when you take the equation of a line and you put it into the form y equals x plus b. So, y equals x plus b. So how do we get it into this? If it is in this equation, 3x minus 2y equals negative 16. So this is the equation. How do we get it into y equals x plus b? Yes?
I didn't know letters were supposed to be in math.
This is algebra. In algebra, letters are in math, for sure. Okay, so next we have to figure out how to get this into y equals x plus b form. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to get y by itself on the left side of the equation. So you're going to subtract 3x from both sides, and then it'll be negative 2y equals negative 16 minus 3x. Next, you're going to divide by negative 2 on both sides because you want to get y by itself. So right now, y equals negative 16 minus 3x divided by negative 2. Okay. So to do this, you're going to, so you divided both sides by 2, and that got rid of the negative, you're dividing both sides by negative 2, that got rid of the negative 2y. So it's going to be y equals negative 16 minus 3x divided by negative 2. So to get rid of this negative 2, because you want it to be in slope-intercept form, which is y equals x plus b. So you want it to look like this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to divide negative 16 by negative 2, y equals 8, and then negative 3x minus 2, negative 3 over 2x. But then you just want to switch these. So it would just be y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 8. Next I'm going to teach you about standard form. So standard form is a different way of writing a linear equation, and you write it as ax plus by equals c. The third way to write a linear equation is in point slope form. So this is written as y minus y1, which is the first y coordinate, equals mx minus x1, which is the x coordinate. So m is the slope of the line. So this would be y minus the first coordinate, the first y coordinate, equals slope parentheses x minus the x coordinate. Okay, next I'm going to teach you guys how to solve algebraic equations. So these are just simple equations that you use PEMDAS to solve, which is parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So, for example, if you had an equation like 6 equals 1 minus 2n plus 5, you would need to figure out what n is equal to. So to do this, you have to get n by itself. So the first thing that you would do is you would want to combine like terms. So 6 is equal to 1 plus 5, 6, minus 2n. So that's the first step. Next, you would want to subtract 6 from both sides. So So now you have 0 equals negative 2n. Next, you would divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. 0 divided by negative 2 would still be 0. So n would be equal to 0. Okay, next is the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula can be memorized by a song that I know, and it's x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So that is how you could solve an equation to figure out what x and y would be. So do you guys get it?